The Semovente DA-75/18 M41, Italy's bold armored contender. Meet the Semovente DA-75/18 M41, Italy's surprising answer to a question no one quite knew they were asking. Amid the tumult of World War II, Italian armored vehicle design teetered between lofty goals, stark necessity, and a budget so tight it could make Mussolini wince. Yet from this precarious mix emerged a self-propelled gun so distinct, innovative, and unexpectedly capable that it stands as one of Italy's most successful armored efforts. So grab your goggles and scarf. We're taking a ride through the intriguing saga of the Semovente DA-75/18 M41. A product of necessity, Italy's armor dilemma. When World War II ignited, Italy's armored force was far from cutting edge. Closer, in fact, to a mobile history exhibit. Vehicles like the Fiat L3 tankettes and M13/40 medium tanks were outdated, especially when compared to the British tanks navigating the North African deserts. Italian commanders stuck with antiquated machines understood they needed more firepower and fast. Enter Colonel Sergio Berlese from the artillery branch. He envisioned a small, maneuverable platform with the punch of artillery and the speed of a tank. His solution? Modify an existing tank chassis and mount it with a large howitzer, delivering battlefield impact without overtaxing Italy's limited manufacturing resources. Thus, the Semovente DA-75/18 M41 was born in 1941. Based on the M13/40 tank chassis, Semovente translates to self-propelled. And this machine featured the formidable 75mm Obice DA-75/18 howitzer. It bridged the gap between tank destroyer and mobile artillery, a practical response to wartime urgency. Under the hood, design and capabilities. First impressions, the Semovente M41 wasn't winning any style awards. With its squat build, riveted plates, and a cannon that looked more stubby than scary, it seemed less warrior and more rolling toolbox. But the function behind the form was impressive. Unlike tanks with rotating turrets, the Semovente used a fixed superstructure, which allowed thicker frontal armor, up to 50mm, while the cannon's 20-degree horizontal range was limited, requiring the entire vehicle to pivot for aiming. The trade-off was superior protection. Its 75mm gun could fire both high-explosive and armor-piercing rounds, capable of disabling British tanks like the Matilda and Crusader. It marked Italy's first truly effective armored adversary. Powered by a Fiat SPA engine delivering 125 horsepower, the Semovente could reach speeds of 32 kilometers per hour, or roughly 20 miles per hour, and had a range of about 200 kilometers, or 125 miles. A crew of 3, commander, driver, and gunner, operated within its tight interior. Comfort? Not exactly a design goal. Crew members grimly joked it was like working inside a reinforced sardine can. Trial by fire, North African campaign. The Semovente saw its battlefield debut in late 1941 during the North African campaign. Initially dismissed by British forces, it quickly proved its mettle. The vehicle dealt serious blows to enemy armor and provided vital support in fierce desert battles. At places like El Alamein and Tobruk, the Semovente began to earn a name. Its small frame and effective weaponry made it perfect for ambushes. Italian crews could strike, reposition quickly, and fade into the dunes. drawing reluctant admiration from Allied commanders who had underestimated Italy's armored strength. Still, the Semovente wasn't without flaws. A fixed gun required the entire chassis to turn for aiming, a serious drawback amid combat chaos. Poor radio systems and weak supply logistics also limited its potential on the battlefield. End of the war and ongoing impact. As the war dragged on, an Allied bombing battered Italian industry, improved models like the M42, based on the newer M15/42 chassis, were developed. The Germans, recognizing the Semovente's value, took over production after Italy's 1943 surrender and used the captured models themselves. Despite its shortcomings, crews respected the Semovente. Compared to earlier Italian armor, it felt durable and dependable. Soldiers often grew attached to these vehicles, appreciating their sturdiness in tough fights against better-equipped foes. After the war, surviving Semoventes saw limited use by Italy's post-war army and in various European skirmishes during the early Cold War. A few have been preserved in museums, quiet reminders of Italy's wartime creativity and resourcefulness. Some final thoughts on Unlikely Triumph. The Semovente DA75/18 M41 represents Italian engineering resilience during a time of extreme constraints. Born out of dire necessity, this unusual machine became a rare bright spot in Italy's World War II military record. Italy's armored vehicles may never hold the fame of Germany's Tiger tanks or America's Shermans, but the Semovente DA75/18 M41 showed that innovation could thrive under pressure. Rugged, boxy, and battle-tested, it was Italy's humble yet heroic contribution to armored warfare.